Hi and welcome to my second video regarding my hair transplant at ASMED. It's been 3.5 months now since the initial treatment, and it's been about 3 months since my last video. So I just wanted to keep you guys up to date about how it's been for me and my progress. Firstly, I'll show you my progress. At the moment, the front part of my hair, I think there's a little bit of growth come through. Not a whole bunch. I think most of what you're seeing is my original hair from before the transplant. So a lot of these sort of bald areas here, they're still pretty bald. I'm not sure if some of these hairs are new hairs that you see coming through, or if they're just the originals. But at the moment, it's only 3.5 months in. If I show you the top's pretty much the same sort of story, really. It's sort of bare, a bit like how it was before I went in to get the surgery. So really and truly, I'm back to where I started after 3.5 months. It is a pretty rubbish stage to be at, if I'm being honest with you. It's something I prepared for. They did kind of tell me that it's going to take time, it's a long road, and you just got to stay with it and believe that your hair will come back. But at the moment, it is pretty much back to where I started, back to day one. And to be honest with you, at the moment, I'm just a little bit relieved that I've got my original hair back and I can cover up little bits like I was before. After my last video, all that hair fell out pretty much, days after that video. And it's very, very difficult to cover it up. You pretty much can't. I spent most of my time traveling to and from work wearing a hat, not just for vanity reasons, but also to protect my head from the sun. So I had one particular day where I actually forgot to take my hat to work, and the sun, I could actually feel the sun on my scalp. You could really, really feel it. And I ran as fast as I could to get into some shade. And I contacted ASMED straight away, actually, because I noticed there was some redness on my scalp afterwards, and they said, okay, it's fine. They responded pretty much straight away, which is brilliant. Via WhatsApp, and they just said you just put some aloe vera oil on it. So I put some aloe vera oil on it, and I put aloe vera on it every day, really, just to keep it healthy. I also bumped my head once, which is another big no-no. I bumped my head once on the train. I stood up and I hit my head on the baggage area, and it hurt. Yeah, I had a hat on, but it hurt, and I could feel pain. But there was no real redness or anything like that, no bleeding. So again, I contacted ASMED. 3 months had passed, I think, or 2.5 months, and they said, no, it's fine. And I've done a bit of research, and yes, you should be careful about not bumping your head, but at the same time, it's not a massive deal if you do, so long as it doesn't cause bleeding or scarring or a cut or anything like that. It's not been too bad, it's not been too itchy. It has itched here and there, particularly, straight after the last video, after the 10-day, 12-day period where the hair starts to fall out. It does get a little bit itchy, but it's not a big deal. It's nothing to write home about. Another thing I went through, which I didn't really read up too much about at the time, were pimples. I've got loads and loads of pimples on the side and the back of my head, a couple on top. They were quite painful sometimes when you'd be lying down. On one side, it would cause some pain. Again, these are things that just come and go. It's the trauma to your head after the actual surgery itself. I have to say, after now being at the 3.5 month stage, all of that's gone. All the itching, pimples, and it's pretty much just back to square one on that front. I've had one haircut in 3.5 months, which is rare. I maybe could have gone again, probably should, but I've had one haircut in which my hairdresser said, your hair is all over the place. It's sort of grown back in all different directions. So I think that's where the two ladies at ASMED were shaving my hair. They weren't shaving it in sort of one direction. They were shaving it just all over the place, and the hair came back kind of all over. But it seems to be back to normal now. So yeah, it's really just now a matter of waiting and having to explain to everybody that, it's a long road ahead. And, every time people see me, they're like, guys, have you had any growth? I've had a lot of interest from friends and family in regards to this, and I'm hearing more and more people going for surgery for hair transplants. So it's a good thing. I hope that my last video helped, and I hope that this update has helped you. I will be doing another update in about a month or so's time, and I'm setting up a blog which I'll leave a link to in my next video, so you can see my progress better on there in terms of pictures and things like that. But I am hopeful. I do feel like there has been a slight bit of progress, even if it's just slight little offshoots of hair here and there. But in terms of the recovery period, I feel like now, after 3.5 months, I've fully recovered from the actual surgery itself. So it does take a while. I do recommend growing a beard if you can, just to detract from the attention on top, because I think that's what the hardest thing is you go for a hair transplant to not have the exposure on the top of your head. The ironic thing being is that to go through that procedure, you have to shave your head and you have to expose everything for a number of months until it grows back. So thanks again for watching the video. I will keep you updated in about a month's time, and hopefully I'll have more positive news for you on the next one. Cheers.